Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Are you ready to become part of the galactic family? Are you ready for this?
It's happening whether you're ready or not.
It is happening, and a lot of people perhaps will never be ready, but there's nothing they could do about it because this is exactly the time that we're in. As you see this is from NASA. Of course, never a straight answer. Do you trust NASA? Of course not. They say this is from the International Space Station. Again, we don't trust NASA. You don't need to trust NASA. The reality is, way before NASA was even founded, people knew we were not alone. We've never been alone. It's all been right there in front of our faces. And here you see, this is calculated to be 10 kilometers across. 10 kilometers across. This thing is miles long. That's huge. That's a mothership.
Yes, this would be a definition of a mothership.
Absolutely. And this is a fascinating time. One person said that one looks a lot like the Phoenix Lights. Do you guys remember the Phoenix Lights? Phoenix, Arizona, there was a series of sightings that were very, very curious, to say the least, and Cindy's gotten some information, channeled information on this as you look at some pictures here of the Phoenix Lights. And this was a V-shaped craft, they say, seen during the Phoenix Lights incidents of 1997. That was right around the time I was with my daughter at the beach, and we saw a huge triangle go overhead. It wasn't, I don't believe it was like this. You couldn't really make it out because all you could see is the lights, but it was very, very low. You know, this is really, really interesting. Well, what does Cindy have about this Phoenix Lights phenomenon? What was this? Was this the reptilians and the government? Was it our military? Something different?
It was a situation where the Lyrans were coming in to check on things because they do have many people that are still part of their star system. They have many star family members here on Earth that incarnated on Earth, and they were coming to see it was time for them to be here. Vibrationally, the frequency was right, so they could be here. That's what was going on.
So Lyrans. And when we say Lyrans, again, humanity, as far as we know, originated in the Lyran star system. And you also have Lyrans that are feline humanoid as well.
You do have all different types. So you can't really limit it to just one archetype because archetypes have all been mixed together now.
Absolutely. But on the ship that you see, the ships that came and poked their head in Phoenix, those were humanoids?
Those were humanoids, yes.
Okay, so would they look much different than us?
Yeah, they're gonna be a little bit of what you see depicted on some of the artwork that you might find in AI and on the internet, and something between that and actual human.
How large do you see them?
They're pretty big beings. They're fairly large. They're very strong. So I want to say they're a good 7 feet, 7 feet solid. I mean, the men probably being around 7, a little bit more, women being more about 6 feet, but good, solid, I mean, strong beings. So if you've ever looked into how much a great ape could, carry and pull and lift, they have muscle and the mass like that. They're very powerful.
Interesting. Absolutely. Right now there's so many sightings going on. This one is a curious thing too. Here you go, another drone. We're seeing drones, but we're seeing also larger drones and drones that appear to be very advanced, and so much can be, this is a close-up, so much can be ours. And again, when we say ours, most of the militaries around the world, well, we could say for sure the U.S. directly works with reptilianoid beings. as there are agreements in place, and many others do as well. So when we say ours, there's a lot of craft that are controlled by our military, or a combination of our military with Greys and or reptilians.
There is a certain level of intelligence where they do know exactly what's going on. And in this case, I picked up that it wasn't exactly supposed to be caught on camera, so there seemed to be a glitch here.
A lot of glitches lately.
A lot.
Yeah, this is definitely very, very curious. And then we have this. This right here is over Duke Nuclear Power Plant in North Carolina. So this looks like it could be it's 3 lights. Is it one object? Is it one big triangle? Again, most of the triangular ships we see are ours. Ours, again, combination of militaries from around the world, along with Greys and or reptilian beings. And is it rotating, or are these 3 separate points? It's pretty curious. There's definitely been a correlation with ships over nuclear power sites and nuclear weapons facilities as well. Here we have Arizona again. Multiple UAPs spotted over Arizona. Now, almost all these are just, that we're looking at right here in this series, are from like the last day or two. So there's been a ton of sightings recently. I think there's a real good chance that by summer solstice 2024, we may very well have disclosure to the point where nobody's guessing anymore. Literally, I do think there are ET groups that are purposely showing themselves now because they want to shift the paradigm. As you see, these look triangular again, as you see, stationary. And really, that's like what I saw way back it was either 97, it had to be 97 because my son wasn't born yet. So it had to be 97 that I saw the triangle. Over Milford, Connecticut, flew out over West Haven, Connecticut. We were sitting looking at Charles Island, and the sun had just gone down. But it was at that same type of height. It wasn't high up, and it was big. But it didn't have a good feel at all. That one didn't. Not like what we would feel with the, again, the Lyrans, because, they are definitely benevolent.
Well, they're benevolent, but they have a very kind of a warlike demeanor. I like to equate their energy with the blue avians because they really don't take any flack. So, they're benevolent, but at the same time, you are going to feel that very powerful, kind of like tough mother love, like don't mess with them type energy.
Well, because these wars, the reptilian, what we call the wars of the Draco and Lyrans, the Lyran-Draco wars, they've been going on for millennia.
A long time, and they really don't mess around, and they're very serious about who they protect.
So in this one right here, the man is talking to his brother and says, look up, look over there. And his brother says, yeah, I see it. So, obviously not behind anything, not just a reflection. This one is a UAP that all of a sudden decides to leave as an F-15 comes close to check it out. And this is, most definitely curious to watch. We have so many visitors right now. They are just watching this show. This is the culmination of thousands of years of humanity being led by false belief systems and not understanding the reality of extraterrestrials and interdimensional beings. And it's all coming to an end. So as far as at least the illusion that we've been given, that's coming to an end. It's not the end of the wars. It's not the end of, all the intergalactic drama, as we are just one small piece here. So here you see, this is a broadcast, a live broadcast, and you have news anchors reacting to these orbs saying, what the heck are we watching here? What is this? Thanks for waking up with us. You could see, you see it, right? Yeah, I see it. It's getting weirder by the second. They're sticking around. We'll figure out what this is. It's just birds, guys. Just birds, right? That's all.
Just birds, right? I mean, if you look at the sun, and if you have like an iPhone type of iPhone camera, you put it up at the sun and you block out the sun with your thumb, you can see these little beings. They're very, very real. They play in the plasma. For them, this is like swimming in the ocean. They know that they're being seen. They're quite aware of it. They know at this point there's more and more sightings are actually allowed. So in some ways, it's a little bit fun for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I first started seeing elemental beings, which do look very much like this. It's just smaller. In probably about 85 or so, 85, 86, shortly before the sighting of the big triangle. And it sent me to the eye doctor, glasses, and do I need this? Do I need that? No, your eyes are perfectly fine. But I was seeing energy around things, and then I was also able to see elemental beings just like this that are much smaller, and I see them all the time. I see them constantly, every day. If I'm just looking at the right lighting, I could see them. And so, bright blue sky, I see them everywhere. If it's a white wall, I'll see them in the room because they're everywhere. They're everywhere. There's not a space where there's no consciousness.
Well, you have to make the time and the energy and the effort to see them.
Then this is Curitiba, Brazil. And this is one that at first I was thinking, this looks like it's probably Photoshop or something. But Cindy was picking up that there's an intelligence controlling this. This is what she gets. So is this some sort of drone or something?
Yeah, I mean, I really cannot shake that. I tried to step back and step out of the energy and step back in, but no matter what I do, no matter what energetic angle I look at it from, I keep feeling some type of control more inside of it. Now, I know it could be easily debunked by, gee, it's just a balloon. But I mean, even if I put it in my head, it's just a balloon, I still feel an energy inside of it.
Absolutely. So this is an interesting one. And this is another one. This is Pacifica, California. And I mean, there's just so many. These are all, if you notice the dates, they're all like November 29th for the most part, besides the historical events that we're referencing. So, it really gets you thinking, are these times any different? They feel different because it feels like it's coming to a peak. We did have times like here in 1942, the Battle of Los Angeles. There were photos, there was news articles. What were those lights in the sky? Is it the Japanese? Is it the Germans? What's going on? Of course, reports of Foo Fighters happened all during the war. That's a common phenomenon. And that's, again, for the most part, those silver-like drones. 1952, July, you had UFOs over the White House, literally. And this was another news event. There were many people that took photos, were curious, and this sparked a lot of the sci-fi movies, Invasion from Mars, Little Green Men. There was the famous air battle over Nuremberg in 1561 with Darth Vader's ship and all sorts of drones, orbs in the sky, and also cross-shaped ships, and some of them, as you see here, connected by little round orbs.
I know, and this just goes to show how long they've been here. They've been here since we've all been born, been here forever.
Yeah, because, again, we ourselves come here from other planetary systems. That's the big reveal. Again, these things have been documented going back to the Dark Ages and beyond. You could go and look way back, and the depictions of Vimanas and motherships, and again, the Hindu stories tell you outright that we're not alone. Again, the Hindu stories tell you that there's over 100,000 humanoid species in our galaxy alone. It's just common knowledge. And when you see depictions of these beings, flying on these bird-like entities that really, if you put him on the ground, he's going to look a little bit like those Sumerian depictions and depictions we see also from Mesoamerica. And, what do you have up here? Well, that's a classic saucer shape, is it not? It certainly is. But it's just a parasol, blocking the sun for him, because, again, this is a depiction of Vishnu. But, in reality, what are we really talking about? They've always been here, and many different ones. This is why there's many different ships. Some of them not too far removed, or you could say not too far ahead of us, just a little bit, and others way beyond us. These are literal drawings depicting the interior of Vimanas, and these aerial vehicles which people saw. And again, the farther back in time we go, the more advanced they were. As we got closer to the Kali Yuga and into the Kali Yuga, we saw less and less advanced ships. And depictions of beings, are they just cartoonish, or are they really trying to depict some extraterrestrial beings like what we have over here in Nazca? We have this one that looks kind of like ET-ish. He's waving, hi, and are they really just saying, hey, when the good guys were here and they left, we want the good guys back, because the ones that are here now are not so nice.
I know I did pick up a certain energy about those Nazca lines where in many ways some of them are almost acts of desperation, for who they deem to be very important beings to come back. And to this day, there are stories going around in the tribes, and there's understanding that these beings came from a special place. Great healers, magical healers, but the beings that left weren't not allowed to stay in the times that were changing, going into the dark Kali Yuga. They just couldn't not exist there, literally.
Yeah, again, we look at that battle, the Kurukshetra war, and being like Krishna, it was mourned when Krishna left, but then again, that's when the Kali Yuga began, when Krishna wasn't here anymore. None of them were here anymore. None of the benevolent ones that taught us and guided us and that we viewed as parents and aunts and uncles,
I know. And, look at this kitty. This kitty he needs snuggles so bad. He's willing to take a statue.
Well, this is the big reveal, because we've been under the control of the dark forces, but yet we're entering the time when more benevolent beings will be showing up.
They sure will.
As always, guys, thanks for your support on Ko-Fi Patreon. We couldn't do it without you guys. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.